Get ready for what's probably the craziest news show in the whole world, straight out of Austin, Texas. It's Everything News and Talk. What's up, gang? It's Clint. Welcome back to Clint Likes Everything. Thanks for tuning in every Friday. Assuming you tuned in last Friday and you're going to be here next Friday. Guys, thanks for being here. We're here for another episode of Everything News and Talk, where we talk about all your favorite movies, streaming, music, and news of the weird. Before we get to that, I need to get my trusty sidekick. Actually, I'm the sidekick. Let's get Curtis in here. Woo! Curtis, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday, guys. This was a long one, but I'm glad we're here.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of fun stuff. Yeah, there you go. That's the applause for your introduction. Man, we got a crazy show today. We're going to be talking about, we've got a lot of great shows right now. We're in the golden age of streaming, and so we're going to be talking about She-Hulk, House of the Dragon, a little bit of Rings of Power, and we're going to get hyped up for Andor that's coming next week. Man, I'm excited. Dude, I'm really excited about that show. And after this show, later on this evening, we're going to be doing Rogue One versus Inglourious Bastards on our other show called Versus. So, man, watching Rogue One has got me fired up for Andor. I cannot wait for that. But before we get into it, let's get into, let's do the, what they call the house cleaning. Let's get all of the necessary things out of the way, like subscribe to the channel. If you hit that notification bell, we'll send you a reminder whenever we go on live or whenever we have a new video out. If you want to help support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/ClintLikesEverything. If you can't remember that, there's a link in the description. And lastly, if there's something you want us to talk about on the show, message me on social media. I'm the OG Clint Baker on all my socials, but you can find all this information in the description for this video. Anyway, let's get to it. House cleaning? I already cleaned the house. What the hell is he talking about?
Hi-yo.
Curtis, are you fired up for Andor?
I really am. So we rewatched Rogue One for Versus, and I don't know why it's taken me so long to rewatch this movie. This is always, or since it came out, it's been one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I think I had, after the new trilogy, some kind of Star Wars fatigue or something.
It happens.
So I just, I mean, they were fine. I just wasn't impressed with them. So I just hadn't rewatched it in a while, and I did. And man, it's so good. I really can't wait for Andor. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm hoping to see some. There's some good Darth Vader in Andor. There's some really good lines. So I hope we get a little of that too. But I'm really excited about the espionage and all that. But let's kick this thing off. Instead of just going right into business, we need to get into some of the weird stuff. I like getting into the news of the weird. So what's the weird stuff? Weird stuff. I said weird stuff. All right, man. Guys, we got some weird stuff. Weird Al Yankovic story review. Absurd parody biopic worthy of Weird Al. This movie, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Roku decided to fund and make a movie, a biopic about Weird Al, and it aired at the Toronto Film Festival, and Daniel Radcliffe plays Weird Al, and man, Hollywood is fired up about it. Everybody loves it. Every once in a while, Hollywood gets, weird. A film comes along that is outrageous, unhinged, and confident enough in its own absurdity that the audience could do nothing but like it. And that's the Weird Al story. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to read the whole article, but I've heard multiple people say that this movie's fantastic. And it's really funny when they're like, Weird Al's got a movie. I'm like, are you talking about UHF? Yeah, I saw it back in the 80s, dude. That's an old movie. Which some of the jokes in that might not fly today, but supplies. Remember that one? But anyway, yeah, dude, like,
Yeah,
I'm excited about Weird Al. I've loved Weird Al since I was a kid, and the idea, and I thought this was going to be a serious movie, you know, like Rocket Man or something like that, and then I watched the trailer for it, and it's ridiculous. It's like over the top, so it's like an exaggerated version of reality, and I think it's great. So I think this is gonna be super fun. And from what I'm hearing, people are just going nuts and loving it because everybody loves. You know, if all of a sudden you have my Bologna, just that, like going in and seeing a movie where they're playing Weird Al songs is going to get you hyped up, you know what I mean? But like the fact that this is good, also the fact that this is Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter's playing Weird Al, like that's super weird. And wait, where's this going to be? Is this going to be on HBO or Amazon or Netflix? No, it's going to be on the Roku channel. The what?
I don't have that one.
The Roku channel. I don't even know if you can get the Roku app if you don't have a Roku.
Right.
They would have to.
Can I get it on?
They would have to.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the fact that the Roku channel put out the Weird Al movie, it airs in, I believe it's October 4th. Is that what I said earlier?
No, November 4th.
November 4th. There you go. Yeah. November 4th on the Roku channel. It's the Roku, the next HBO. Like it's just hilarious. It's like one of those spam channels. You know what I mean? That's on your.
Yeah, exactly. They're sitting there in the board meeting. They're like, "All right, guys, what does HBO got?" And they're like, "Well, they got House of the Dragon." They're like, "Okay, what about Prime? What do they got?" And they're like, "Well, they got Lord of the Rings, most expensive show of all time." And they're like, "Okay. What about Disney Plus? What are they doing? Well, they got She-Hulk." And then Andor's coming. And he's like, all right. Weird Al. We're going to put all our money in a Weird Al movie, and that's going to break us through.
Put all your eggs in the Weird Al basket. That's what you got to do. Yeah, I love it, dude. It's on the Roku channel, and it's in the Toronto Film Festival, which is one of the craziest like one of the most prestigious film festivals in the world, and people are eating it up. So I think it's great. Daniel Radcliffe is doing fun parts and is trying to tear himself out of the Harry Potter's stereotype that he's typecast, and I think it's cool. And Weird Al, like, come on, you could have had anybody in this movie and I would have gone to see it, but I'm super glad Daniel Radcliffe is killing it, and it turned out well. The other funny thing too, I heard that Daniel Radcliffe Weird Al loaned him his accordion for a couple of weeks so he could learn how to play a little bit, and he gave him an accordion lesson or something, and it's pretty fun. I think he broke a strap or something. He was like, yeah, I'm scared, you know, but I love it, dude. And Weird Al also wrote this movie with someone else, co-wrote this movie, so I like that he was involved in the writing. I think it's super cool. But anyway, that's it. Let's check in with the chat real quick, and then you can tell us what's happening in Florida, because I'm curious. Okay. We were looking up some weird news. I go, well, weird news. I already got that. Weird Al. But I said, well, where can we find more weird news? And Curtis knew where to get it. So Florida. That's weird. Oh yeah. What's up, gang? Andrew says Ritalin kids. All right. I don't know what that. What about them? What about us?
No, he said his next
needs to come back. There you go. There you go. He must have hit enter by mistake. It was like sometimes Ritalin Kids needs its own line, and you just want to return so you can write the next line, you know, and then you hit return, and then it posts in the chat. Then what are you going to do? Well, you just got to send another comment. And Curtis agrees. All right.
I agree.
All right. Curtis, how did your party go the other day? I didn't get to last Saturday. I didn't get to go to Houston and experience.
It went really great, man. Like it just went off without a hitch. The food was good, the company was good, and it was good stuff, man. I'm very lucky to have the life that I have, and just sitting there chilling with family and friends was kind of showed that. So it was great.
How did the dance floor turn out?
It was not used.
But y'all didn't use the dance floor? It's
No,
ridiculous.
everybody hung. I was out there barbecuing. Everybody like hung out inside, or like some people would come out, in and out. But I was like, usually we hang outside. But then again, I'm a smoker, and I'm used to being at parties with a bunch of smokers, so everybody's outside, and these folks weren't. So I'd have to go inside.
So it was a good turnout, though.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was good stuff.
Yeah, I felt bad I couldn't make it, man. Next one, I'm taking my ass to Houston.
Oh well, next Saturday we're gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Yes.
Tell us about the Florida man.
So, if you're ever looking for news of the weird or just something related to a special day in your life, one of the things that I found out is that you can literally Google Florida man and the date, and you're going to get some weird news. It's almost a guarantee. So, on this date in history, if you Google Florida man, September 16th, we get, well, this is creepy and gross. On September 16th, 2015, a 52-year-old Florida man was arrested for sniffing, according to CBS News. It wasn't just the sniffing, it was what he was sniffing that got him in trouble. A complaint was made after he crawled under some library tables in order to smell a woman's feet, then tried to escape on a scooter. Ew.
Yep.
That's this day in history in Florida.
That's Florida. People in Texas are like, man, those Florida guys are weird. So they're weird if we're going, man, those guys are weird. All right. Well, let's get into some news or some recap action, or what are we doing here? What are we talking about? What the hell are we talking about? Star Wars. That's what we're talking about. Everything Star Wars. The excitement for Andor. It's the Andor countdown. Just a few more days and experience the excitement. Andor. Just kidding. All right. Was that weird? I think that should have gone into into
back
weird
to news of the weird.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was fun. Hi, Friday family, says Bobby. Bobby, it's good to see you. Good to see your name. Yeah.
My Friday is complete.
My Friday now. Your Friday is complete. Somebody take the effects away from Clint, okay? Come on. Man, we started talking about it a second ago. I'm fired up about Andor, man. Like you said, man, it's been a while since I've done a rewatch of Andor, and watching that movie, having an understanding of what this series is, what the movie leads into. Rogue One leads right into Star Wars. Episode 4, and the series is the build-up. It's the 5 years before leading into Andor, and it's just super cool to watch Rogue One with the understanding that this series is coming out next week. And now, because these were like nobody characters we'd never heard of, so you watch it for the first time and you're like, okay, this guy must be a spy. But now, after watching behind the scenes and all that, I have like through context clues and enjoying Rogue One. Now I have a whole idea of the whole backstory and everything, and it's really cool to know we're going to learn all about Cassian Andor and how he got recruited and all the terrible stuff he has to do. And he's kind of he's in a rough place and kind of a dirtbag, and the guy says, well, if you're going to be a dirtbag, you might as well do it for the rebellion, like, and it's kind of cool. And even in Rogue One, like, he has to do some terrible things, but it's in the name of the good team, good guys. You know, I'm doing bad stuff, but it's for the good guys, and that's kind of what the ending, spoiler alert, of Rogue One is all these guys that are rebels that have had to do bad stuff, kind of go redeem themselves and go save the world at the end, and it's kind of cool. We're going to talk more about that on Versus later on tonight, but I'm really excited. Like the idea of espionage and spy stuff, and just learning a little bit more about the backstories of these characters is really cool. What do you think, Curtis?
I agree. I can't I kind of can't wait. Like I said, Rogue One's always been one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And rewatching it, just like, or actually rewatching or watching the 10-minute documentary thing that they had. Well, hey, welcome, Charlie.
What's up, Charlie?
Got my, whetted my appetite, and then afterwards watching Rogue One was like, I really can't wait for this. It looks like it's going to be so good. If it's done in the same style that Rogue One is, it's going to be good. We kind of Jen Urso, the character, the female character, we kind of got her young backstory to a very minimal degree, but like at least we understand to a degree. And now we get to see that with Cassian, and hopefully get to see some more of Jen, because I really like that actress. I really like that character. But we know from the documentary we're going to see more of Saw Gerrera. Like we're going to see a lot more of the characters from this movie in some capacity in the show, and like that excites me too. Like I want to see a lot of Cassian, but a lot of these guys didn't get enough. Forrest Whitaker's character, and like just plenty of them didn't get enough time to flesh out. And if we can do that, with side stories and stuff, man, it's going to be so good.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome, and Diego de Luna is great. Like you said, Forrest Whitaker playing Saw Gerrera, like he's a badass character, both animated and in the movies. So, and he's supposed to pop in. I mean, Stellan Skarsgård is fantastic at everything he does. So I love that they got somebody. He's got gravitas and weight. They added him.
Right.
It's like, it's like making a mob movie and like, okay, let's throw De Niro in there just for a scene or two. You know what I mean? And it's like all of a sudden your movie has weight. You know what I mean?
Whoa, huh?
Or we couldn't get him. How about Ray Liotta? Yeah, we could do that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now it's like Stellan Skarsgård's got gravitas and is just he's a fantastic actor. And so seeing him, and Star Wars has a tendency to get actors that are unknown in a lot of things, and I think it's cool that he's not, he's an A-lister without being an A-lister. Like he's been in a lot of fantastic movies and he's well known, but he's
right.
It's not like putting Brad Pitt in your movie or something, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not saying don't put Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's awesome, but anyway, I'm excited. We only have a few more days. I haven't watched any of the reviews on YouTube or read any of the reviews from the early screeners. I don't know if I'm gonna, but I do like the tone, like you said, of Andor, and I really hope they stick with that. I don't need any. I'd like this to be the adult show for the Star Wars stuff. You know what I mean? That's serious. It doesn't quite have to be like as graphic as Game of Thrones, but let it be the adult show. And then if you want to kitty it up and have a little Princess Leia running around, like do that on the other show. But this is our adult show, okay, guys? And as long as it stays, stays with the tone of Rogue One or even The Mandalorian, I'll be happy with it.
Right? Oh, yeah. And I mean, I agree, and obviously I agree, because you can tell how we feel about the tone, because we're comparing it to Inglourious Basterds tonight on Versus. So like it's like it should not be kiddied up. Like leave this one for us. It's a spy thriller, insurgency war movie, or show, hopefully.
Yeah, we don't want Taika Waititi directing any episodes of Andor. I don't think we have to worry about that. Man, I love Taika Waititi, but I sure don't want him touching any of my serious stuff. After Thor, like he left a bad taste in my mouth after that. Like I like what he does when it's time for that, you know what I mean? But when it's time for, I sure don't want Taika Waititi directing any episodes of Game of Thrones. Like no, like you know what I mean?
Wow.
Hey, we're.
I kind of want to see that, just to see that'd be like, wow, that would be
now Taika Waititi
pull out
doing the Weird Al movie. I'm game for that. That could be a lot of fun.
That would be awesome.
Like a lot of fun. We should start doing a segment where we just name movies that like, would you want Taika Waititi to direct this or not? What about Star
Yeah.
Wars? No, because it's going to be Spaceballs. I've already seen
Yeah.
Spaceballs. Yeah,
Yeah, you're not gonna be Mel Brooks, dude. Like,
we've already seen that movie. Let's see here. This show seems interesting, but I'm really waiting on Acolyte and Tales of the Jedi. I agree with you. Tales of the Jedi looked pretty cool. Those are shorts, though. They're like short animated things, and I think they're going to be cool. Just because I miss all of those animated shows. I really enjoyed Rebels and Clone Wars.
mhm.
As for the Acolyte, I really can't wait to see that because I like dark sides. I'm wearing a Sith AF T-shirt right now. You know what I mean? Asajj Ventress is one of my favorite characters. Like, she was badass. I love the dark side stuff, and I wish we could see a little more of that. And we're gonna see that, And this takes place in the past. It's before this time period that we're used to. This is older stuff, so it's going to be interesting. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, you want to get into some She-Hulk recapping?
Absolutely.
Let's talk to the chat real fast, guys. In the chat, did you guys like this last episode of She-Hulk? I'm curious. Did you like the latest episode of She-Hulk? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts, and we're gonna run through our checklist. This is how we do it now. Checklists of stuff. Real quick before we get down our list overall, Curtis, did you like this last episode?
I absolutely did. To me, I think they're getting better and better, and that, in my opinion. Yeah.
Awesome. Let's get in. Let's get into the action then. Boom. Hey, that's me.
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a lawyer.
She-Hulk. Rate this She-Hulk 1 to 10. The latest episode of She-Hulk. Rate it 1 to 10. Curtis.
I mean, I'll probably go an 8 again. I mean, like I said, I like this better. I gave the last one an 8. I like this one better than the last one. I mean, what's really killing it is the episode length. Honestly, like I think it's getting funnier and it's getting better. It's getting more at home with what it is. So I'm gonna go 8.
I'm gonna give this one a 7. I didn't enjoy this one as much as some of the other episodes. I did think it was fun, and on a rewatch, I enjoyed it a little more. But I was trying to show my mom, hey mom, check out this show, and like we're watching it, and I don't know, it affects you differently when you're showing somebody a show. My mom used to love the old Hulk, so I was like, you'll love this, and nothing really like.
Ooh.
It just nothing really stuck out, and I was like, okay, cool, copyright humor, I get it, trademark humor, but it was weird, and I did enjoy the episode, but again, this time I was actually glad it was a short episode, so which is strange. I would have liked maybe a fight scene thrown in there, but I did enjoy the show. I love the show. I love Tatiana Maslany. I got it, but it almost seemed dumbed down a little bit. And I said, okay, we are down to 80s sitcom level of intelligence in these. It's like they're dumbing it down a little bit, which is cool if that's what tuning in for. Which it is what I'm tuning in for. Ben, I'm just rambling now, but long story short, I did enjoy this episode. I felt like it was a little bit dumbed down. I'm glad it was the length it was. And I guess the show is just slowly morphing from regular Marvel into a sitcom, and that's what it's supposed to be, and this is just the progression. So there we go. Let's get to the next part. What was your favorite part about this episode?
My favorite part about the episode was the dressing of She-Hulk. The whole thing that was going on there. Because like basically my favorite quote from the episode was whenever Mallory Book tells her, like, I need you to look nice. I don't know what you say. You can't look like an NFL can't go to court looking like an NFL player, pleading no contest to a DUI. Like in that whole thing going on, and the whenever they're working with the fashion designer guy for superheroes, which led to some theory stuff and like I don't know. I thought it was a good scene. It really showed off her assistant a lot, Nikki a lot. That was my favorite part of the show.
I think Nikki was my favorite part of the show this episode. I like her. She's just got a interesting like charisma about her, and I like her working her way in to get a suit for Jen and have it. And when they busted out with the Avengers or Avengers, the fake bootleg Avengers merchandise, that was probably my favorite part of it. I laughed about that a little bit. So there you go. What didn't you like about this episode?
Again, again, the length. But I mean, other than that, like I don't, and I think you're right. It is morphing into a kind of a sitcom. They're going to get to some more stuff, some heavier stuff, I think, because that's kind of how the comic book series went. It kind of was a comedy sitcom in the series, but then stuff would happen in the other Marvel universe, and it would reverberate within the She-Hulk line, of course. So, like, I don't know if there was anything that I disliked specifically about this episode. Not that it was perfect or spectacular by any means, but I thought it was really good, and there was nothing that I didn't like except the length again.
What didn't I like about it is the dumbing down of the show. I feel like this is full on sitcom, which I like, but I just think I expect a little more out of Marvel stuff. I don't know. As far, it's just the tone. It's like Community or The Good Place or something like that, but not as witty as those shows. But I really like the people in this show. I don't know. I'm having a hard time even explaining what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? How I feel about it. And I didn't feel that until this show. I'm just like, okay, these jokes aren't hitting me quite right. And it's like they had a chance to expand on some of the humor and really make it funny, but I don't know. So,
I do know what you mean.
I'm going to go back to you here.
I do know what you mean, because like I said, it feels like it's getting there, and it's not. Of course, the book is always better, and so on and so forth. It feels like it's getting there. I don't know if it's going to get there, but I do know what you mean, because Wifey is a huge She-Hulk fan, and even she feels kind of the same way. She likes it, but she kind of feels the same way about it. She's not sure. Like, it's not exactly what she wanted. It's not what she thought it would be yet either. I think it's getting there. I hope it's going to get there. So that's what makes me feel better about each episode, but it's not there yet. They're having that, really good mix. So I know exactly what you're saying, and it's very hard to describe. Bobby might have figured it out, though.
Favorite character this week? Hold on. Okay. Who was your favorite character this week?
My favorite character this week was Nikki. I agree. I've liked her for a while. She's been kind of underused, but she pulled out kind of everything that needed to be done this week, and did it with style and humor. And Nikki really did a great job this week. I like her.
Nikki did do a good job, but I'm gonna say Titania. Or Titania.
Ooh,
is it Titania or Titania?
I think it's Titania.
Titania? All right, Titania. I'm going to say Titania. Jamila, she's awesome. And I thought we were just going to get a little bit of her, and she was going to pop in and then disappear out of the show. And she continues to be in this. And just her persona, the character she's playing, I think is interesting and it's funny. and so I'm gonna pick her. And I'm hope we
That's
see
a good
her.
choice.
Yeah, I hope we see her do some more ass kicking. She didn't get to do any ass kicking. She got her ass kicked. So
Yeah.
is this all going to be a bunch of humor? Or are we going to get a cool fight scene? I want to see these two giant, massive, strong women beat the hell out of each other. I think that'd be fun. Yeah. All right. The WTF moment of this week. What was the WTF moment of the week?
To be honest, the WTF moment of the week for me was the fact that they didn't have an end credit scene. Like, they've already established that they do that, and then they decided not to. I kept rewinding and like maybe I missed it or something like that, because I usually, to be fair, do a little skip through the credits, and then like ended up watching all the credits, and I was like, and then even Googled it, and they just don't have one this week, and I don't know. I was like, what's going on? Don't establish that you're going to have that when you're not. Like, so that was it for me.
I'm going to agree with you, Curtis. I think the WTF moment is supposed to be like Daredevil's helmet. Oh my god! But no, I rewound and fast forward and had to and it like no credits end credit scene. What the hell? Like you fast forward and then if you go too far, it won't let you rewind because the app tries to get you onto the next show, and you're like, no, I gotta rewind, and and then I had to like exit out and then play the thing and fast forward through the whole episode, and then I did it again and I had to fast forward. I did it 3 times, and then until I finally said, Clint, there's no end credit scene. What and WTF? Yeah, it was a really. I wonder how many people out there had to do what I did, because these apps are fun, but they do a tricky thing because they try to do the predicted next show that you're supposed to watch, and I'm like, I don't want to watch Avengers Endgame right now. I want to see the post credit scene, and I nearly had a nervous breakdown after 3 rewind fast forwards. So yeah, so okay, so that was it. So definitely, I'm gonna agree with you, Curtis. Definite WTF moment is the end credit scene. What should have been the WTF moment was seeing Daredevil's helmet. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
The end credits turning into a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode for Clint was definitely the WTF scene.
Seriously, man, I almost got a nosebleed. Like I was like, what is happening? I was smelling burnt toast, trying to find the end credit scene. Oh man, what a traumatic experience. Would you recommend? Oh, should people watch this show? Do you recommend this show? I've been recommending this show. Have you been recommending this show? Should we watch this show, Curtis?
Yes, I would absolutely recommend watching it. Keep going, especially if you're a fan. I think it's getting to where it needs to be. Even if you're not, and that's the thing. It for other people, it might be going in the direction they want it to more. It might morph into something else because they might like that style better. And Marvel is good about branching out. However, we do want She-Hulk to be an Avenger at some point. It's got to get a little more darker and serious at some point, but maybe not season 1. Maybe season 1's about having fun, and then it'll come back. Daredevil's about to hit it, so they got to serious it up a little bit.
I wonder if that was just a little teaser, like, hey, Daredevil's here somewhere, and are we going to actually see him in the next episode? Are they going to wait till the end of the show? I don't know. We'll see. Would I recommend this show? Yes, I would recommend this show. It's fun. It's gone from a bunch of backstory now to humor. It's starting to find its own. Some of the jokes are landing, some of them aren't, but they're getting there, and I enjoy the tone and what they're trying to do. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. So we'll see. Curtis, do you have any theories? What's next? Any theories? Any Curtis theories of what's happening next on She-Hulk?
Well, what's interesting is there's a couple things that are interesting. I don't know if they're theories. We kind of know Daredevil's going to be in it, but a few weeks back, Derek had wondered, like, how are they going to meet up? Because she's on the East Coast and Daredevil's obviously in New York. But the helmet kind of showed that, like, he's going to come pick up his new costume, I guess, and then maybe work on a case or something like that. So that was interesting. What also is interesting, and I didn't catch this. This is from Mikey Sutton. He was saying that if you like basically freeze frame it. I didn't see it, but one of the pairs of shoes in Pug's collection are Daredevil shoes, so that acknowledges that Daredevil is in the Marvel universe. And are they going to do a Daredevil and She-Hulk crossover? I'm sorry, not Daredevil, Deadpool. Excuse me, Deadpool shoes, and acknowledges that Deadpool is in the Marvel universe. And are they going to do that crossover? And it's probably not going to happen in this season, but it would just be so perfect because She-Hulk broke the fourth wall first, and that became Deadpool's thing. And like she could be talking to the camera, and then he's like, "No, wait, that's not true." And she's like, "What? Like, how are you talking to them?" Like, or it could be this great gag that's going on throughout the episode. And I hope we get that. I don't think it's going to happen this season, but I hope it's coming.
Man, I hope a little Deadpool action would be super fun. Where am I going? Yeah, do I have any theories? I don't know what's going to happen in this show. Like, I couldn't tell you. We're going to have a little Daredevil. That's all I know. My theory, I have a theory that the guy isn't going to tell Daredevil that his costume is yellow and he thinks it's red. What? Yeah, he doesn't know, and his Daredevil vision is sees in red anyway, so he's not gonna know, and it's gonna be a while before anyone tells him, "Hey, bro, your suit's yellow," and he's gonna be like, "Oh." And yes, I know I know that's the OG suit. I'm just being a dumbass. So, all right, well that was fun. Go check out She-Hulk. Boom.
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a lawyer.
That was the She-Hulk wrap-up right there for the week. It was a fun episode, man. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I was at my mom's, and I was like, yeah, Mom, this is the She-Hulk show I was talking about, and we watched it. And
What'd you think?
She fell asleep. She crashed out. Yep, she crashed out.
That's a pretty short show. That's not a good sign. But,
Yeah.
But to be fair, like if she was a fan of the original Hulk, tonally they are entirely different. Like if the
she did the stereotypical mom thing where like, who are those people over there? And I go, those are her coworkers, and he's trying to get some shoes, and she's gonna help him go stand in line. What? I thought this was I thought this was a superhero show. It's like a law firm, but it's a superhero who's a lawyer. Okay, and then I was like, none of these jokes are really landing. And then next thing you know, I look over, Mom's asleep, and the show's over. I was like, that felt like 10 minutes. That was okay. I guess I'm going to watch this again at home. And I did. And it was still, it was like, it's an okay episode. It was okay. So, yeah, man. Luckily, the other shows this week were hitting, at least for me. Man, what'd you guys think? Anybody else at home watch the new She-Hulk episode? Mm-hmm.
Bobby says she's watched the first two, and she's waiting to binge the rest, and plus she gets to hear about them from us, so she's
yeah. You don't even need to watch.
She'll be ready.
All right. Well, let's get into some dragon action here. Boom. House of the Dragon. Episode 4 recap. Somebody take Clint's thing away.
You foiled.
Holy crap, Clint left.
That's what happens when you take his thing away.
Oh my
He
god.
did not like that at all.
This is insanity. Oh boy. Clint is gone. Where the hell is he? We're going to do this. So stupid. Oh man. Hey, oh look at that with the wrong background. We're just going to shut this down. We've already screwed this all up. Hold on a sec. Bam. I was avoiding. Oh, son of a. I was avoiding doing this because I didn't want to have the wrong background. This is so stupid. Don't worry, gang. We'll be professional here in a minute.
But, you know,
There
the
it
internet
is.
gods are weird.
Here we go.
Hey,
There we go. Let's see let's see how yours is looking.
Bam, the star of the show, baby.
What a so stupid. All right. You're gonna have an ugly green screen now. Hey,
Hey,
must
don't
be
talk
the
bad about my
money.
green screen.
There.
Yeah. Oh.
Now we're professional. Man, we were doing so good too. We were looking so professional. And
We
now,
did that on purpose. We just threw some
Yeah,
levity in there for
yeah, we wanted you guys to see what it looks like behind the curtain. So here we go. Guys, we have the House of the Dragon episode 4 recap. Holy crap, what an episode. Rate this episode 1 to 10. Curtis, how do you rate this episode?
I don't know. I really don't know. I literally asked my wife or told my wife after we watched it, I was like, I don't know if I like that episode. And I know for a lot of reasons there's a lot of realism going on, and they're setting up a lot. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I might go 6. I mean, like, not that it was bad anyway, but I just didn't like it. So I might go 6 on this one.
I'm going to give this episode a 9. A 9. What? Why 9? There's no dragons. Because it made me feel something, and I cringed, and I was like, don't do it. And like, that's what this show does. It makes you feel things. Last week, I was practically standing on my bed, like freaking out at the intense action ending, and then this is a completely different dynamic. This is something like, for one, you have like a weird that's your cousin like cringy thing. You also are like, I'm also thinking, what is he doing right now? Why is he just being friendly? Is he up to something? For those who don't know, Damon sneaks his niece out of the castle, takes her down to like a orgy basically, and ends up like pulling her hat off. He had her disguised, and he took her out, and the whole plan was to have her seen out in public doing
princessly or
princess, yeah, things unbecoming of a princess, and have her caught. And because if you can get rid of the heir, then that puts him closer to being the heir. Even though she has a little brother now, and he just let her know, look, the public, they had a play going out and stuff, and let her know that the public doesn't want a female, but the public does love her, so you got to tarnish her image, and that was the whole plan, and he got her fired up. Also, God, there's so much to this, to just saying, hey, how did you rank this? Look, we will to be continued. We'll just move on. We'll keep that also for later. How about that? Favorite part. What was your favorite part of this episode, Curtis?
My favorite part was honestly probably whenever Damon decided to not go through with his plan and quit basically making out with his niece. And then that stopped. Yeah, I mean, that was my favorite part, yes. It's quite bothersome.
Oh, man, it's so hard to pick a favorite part in this episode. It's really tough. There's a lot of good stuff. I really liked the father. I really liked the king. Like, the king is Paddy Considine is King Viserys, and he's a really good dad. Like, and he's smart, but he likes to play it like he's in denial. He's basically in denial of reality. He doesn't want to mess with any of this drama, and so. But when it boils down to it, he knows what's up. A lot of the time. Sometimes somebody's got to kick him to make him see it. But he confronts his daughter about this behavior because the spies have seen her out running about and doing scandalous things, and so he has to confront his daughter, and lets her know, and she says, if I was a guy, I could father 10 bastards, nobody would even flinch, but because I'm a girl. And he goes, that's right, you're not a guy. And and so then she ends up saying, well, look, it like basically calls him like, look, your hand, you need to be a king and do the right thing.
Oh
Your
yeah,
hand is setting me up and is plotting against you, and basically opens his eyes to where he realizes that the hand, who is the grandfather of his new kid, he basically has a an understanding and a realization, and you don't know what's going to happen, but you end up seeing the next scene where he ends up confronting the hand and saying, "Look," um, and the hand he is an awesome actor too. Otto Hightower is the character of the hand, and he ends up confronting him and basically says, "Look, I figured it out, and
mm,
everything you've done, you've conveniently fallen into this spot and worked your way up, and even sent your daughter to my chambers and now I have a baby with her and she's my wife, and like everything you've done in self-interest, and I can't trust you anymore because your advice, and you're also plotting against my daughter and have
right.
spies following my daughter, and like just the opening the eyes, like when he said all that stuff, I was like, we know that the whole time we've been watching that, we've known that this is going on, dude. Guy sent his daughter to the king's chambers, like what the hell, like is what we were saying in past episodes, but now he's let him know that, hey dude, I know what you're doing, I know that you're you've got spies on my daughter, and everything you do is is in the interest of your grandkid, who's my son. But look, so I thought that was cool, because also in past episodes, the king has said, hey, I don't care that I have a new kid, you're still, he's told his daughter, like, you're still the heir to the throne. All these people have pledged their allegiance to you, and I made this promise, and on your mother's memory, I'm not going to go back on that. So his younger firstborn son, who's usually the heir, is apparently, from what he's saying, isn't going to be the heir when he dies. And we see him getting sicker, and he's going to pass this on to his daughter. And he also, I think secretly, part of him knows that his daughter is like aggressive and like intense, and would actually be a fierce ruler, be a good ruler.
Yeah,
And also the same thing that makes her want to go out to the brothels and has an aggressive, has basically dragon blood flowing through her veins. So he's like, he kind of thinks, hey, I wouldn't put it past her to go out there, and she does. We know this. She comes back and ends up like shagging her guard, the king's guard, like and he kind of knows that. So it's crazy. Even the ending was like, they send a
abortion potion.
yeah, I was trying to find a Valerian, no, Targaryen Plan B. Anyway, let's see here. That was a long answer to a short question. It's hard to say. It's an intense episode. Like,
don't hold it in, baby.
Yeah, man. What part didn't you like about this episode, Curtis? There you go. Boom.
I mean, I know that it is a part of literal medieval history, like that incest is a thing. So they're being true to history. There are whole groups of royalty that have genetic disorders because of incest, and they wanted to keep the royal blood. But the scene was just because I thought, and I still kind of think that Damon is kind of coming around, like he's so power hungry, but at the same time he like wants to be a good person, he wants to be a hero, and he just like didn't want to do it, like, and then but just even getting that close to doing it, I don't, like that scene kind of bugged me a good bit, like, and I don't know, and it's her uncle, and like just like so again, I get it. It was a very obviously it was a very effective scene, because it did straight up bother me. Like it was like, oh god, this is bad, and so it worked. It did exactly what it was meant to do. It was a good scene. I'm not saying that by any means it wasn't, but like that, yeah, it was that part was rough for me, and I would have rather seen some butchering and killing and all that good good Game of Thrones stuff. So they should have put out a trigger warning for that one.
Oh, my bad. What didn't you like about this episode? I oh boy, um, that's tough. I would say just the fact uh, that Damon tricked me too. I thought he was being cool when he took her out, and then as soon as we get to the play part, the public street performance with the like where they're doing
Yeah.
as soon as they got to that public performance, that play, I realized, oh, he's not. This isn't a fun, good uncle. For a second, you think, oh, this guy's being cool. Hey, we've had all this drama. I'm gonna take my niece out for some fun, and
Yeah.
you know, I used to sneak out of that chamber all the time. Like there was a secret door in her room she didn't even know about. And so they go out in the street, and then you find out, oh, he's up to something, and then and then it starts getting really weird. I don't like that I was thinking that Damon was cool and being cool, but I also love that he tricked me and tricked everyone,
Yes,
because that's part of what makes his asshole badass character great. You know, it's a complicated character, and the fact that he really believed he could do this and ended up impotent and it like is a testament to how complicated his character is. He's like really believes he can stab these people in the back, but then his conscience kicks in, which makes him a big wimp. And it's just a complicated character. All right, let's move on. Oh boy, who is my favorite character? Who's my favorite character for this week? It changes. Who's your favorite character this week? Curtis, bam.
You kind of already stated it. My favorite character this week was the King. He's shown in a lot of weeks that he's not very strong or not very. I don't want to say not very smart, but savvy or something like that. And to a degree, that's partly true because Rhaenyra had to open his eyes, but he's he's being trusting and stuff like that. But like he was kind of on point for everything this week. Whenever it happened, he was like, I know my daughter didn't do that. However, at the same time, he was like, but I know my daughter, so she did something. And like with the hand, he did what he needed to do. He didn't be like, well, that's Hugo or Otto or like. To me, he really that character came into his own this week and was quite kingly. And I wonder too, like with that whole conversation with Otto, when he was talking about how, I forget the lineage or whatever it was, but one of his elders or something got sick. And after 5 days, Otto became the hand and died. After 5 days, Otto became the hand or something like that. I wonder if Otto had poisoned him and has been slowly poisoning the King. That's why he can't heal. So I wonder if something more is going on there that we'll hear about, soon. But yeah, the King really nailed it this week.
Dude, that's a good theory. Man. I'm gonna have to say Rhaenyra. She's really good this episode. She's just got a curiosity to her, and like I said, she's thirsty for life, like an experience, and next thing you know, she's making out with her uncle, and then and then her guard, and I'm like, wow. It's weird, but the uncle kind of made her discover something that she'd never discovered before. And like especially in your youth, you got all kinds of hormones flying and stuff like that, and you turn something like that on. I guess she had to go get that taken care of. So
yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. It's crazy, but she's a fantastic character. the Millie Alcock who plays her, I have a feeling that might have been the last week with her. Maybe next week,
That's
or
what.
maybe
Yeah.
we have one more. But yeah. So I really like the character, and I like her playing the character, and we'll see how the next one goes. So, all right. WTF moment this week? What is the WTF moment for this week? That's easy.
Well, no, it's actually a little different. It's along the same vein, but after she gets back from the basically orgy with Damon or without Damon, and she still needs her vitamin D, she goes and gets the night, guy that obviously they've got some kind of very good relationship going on, and convinces him to fill the void, as per se, and like I said, obviously they have some relationship, and honestly, as a man, if women make it that easy, like it's very hard to say no. But at the same time, it's like he can straight up die for this. Like it better be worth it, because he can straight up be put to death for befouling or whatever it is the princess. And at the same time, he can't kind of be like, no, like, get off of me, because it's the princess. And so it's just her straight up taking advantage of him. He might want it as well, but it's completely against his interests. And like, yeah, it was kind of rough. It's sadly, it's probably what women have had to deal with, throughout of a lot of existence. But like, I was kind of thinking like, man, this guy's in a rough spot. Like, just make it worth it for him, Rhaenyra. Make it worth it, because it might be his last.
My WTF moment this week was again when Damon takes his niece into this brothel, and they're having a basically sex show orgy situation. If you watch the post or the after party scenes, or like they basically have a commentary from the directors and the writers and stuff after the show. And if you watch that, they talk about the episode that was directed by a female director, and she pointed out, like, hey, I did this the way a woman would see this, not how a male sex scene. If you got a sex scene directed by a man, they hang on certain things and notice certain things, and women have a different perspective. And so that's what they were kind of pointing out, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and that made that scene weird when it happened for me. And I'm not saying bad, but just weird. And I watched it a second time, and then a third, and then a fourth. I'm kidding. No, but like, it shows her looking around and at all the things, and this was her first time ever seeing anything like this, and it just shows a lot of things. These people are doing this over there. This is happening. Those three are over there, and it shows her going around, and then she gets seduced by her uncle, and then all of a sudden I'm not understanding what's happening. I'm like, are they doing it? Are they just making out? What's happening? Like, you're trying to figure. You're like,
Yeah.
they're not going to do
Yeah.
it, are they? And you're saying they're not going to do it. Are they? Like, are they doing it right now? I don't know. I don't. And then next thing you know, punches the wall, and he pieces out, and you're like, oh, we're did that just happen? That was weird. That was the WTF moment of the week for me. So.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Like, that's a very interesting point. I wasn't aware like that a woman directed this, and especially from that point of view, because it was very interesting to feel like a man was being preyed upon sexually. Like I said, sadly, women have probably had to deal with this, most of their lives. But to see him, and especially not just a man, like a knight, and the baddest knight, she picked the most badass knight that was out there, be preyed upon like that from someone in power, sexually. And it's like he's probably thinking this is not a good idea, but that's a very unique perspective. That's kind of awesome to make me, kind of feel like that. And that's great. I'm gonna go. Is that one of the bonus things you can click on? Because I want to watch that now.
If you watch the ending of the end of the show, and you let it play, after that they have like kind of a post after the credits and stuff, it's the
Uh-huh.
post show, and
Oh wow, I'm gonna watch
show it's usually about 5 minutes long. Every show they have they just talk about how they made the episode, what
Mm-hmm.
went into it, and it's pretty cool. Like I would recommend watching those because it gives you a little bit of insight. Sometimes maybe if you're half paying attention or you didn't get something, they tell you what their intent as a director and storyteller was. So all of a sudden, sometimes you'll say, "Oh, that's what that meant," or "That's why this happened." So it's pretty cool. I would definitely recommend watching those.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Should people watch this show? What is your opinion after this week? Do you think people should watch this show?
I mean, yes, I think anyone should watch this show. There's going to be parts that make you queasy no matter what it is. Like I said, we've talked about in the past. Some people are very queasy or like don't like the violence of it. That never bothered me, but this episode very much bothered me. So it's kind of you're going to get bothered. But again, like we were kind of saying, like that's if it makes you feel that, then it's done effectively. Like that's what it's supposed to do, you know. So I would absolutely watch the show. I haven't seen a bad episode yet, so definitely get in on it. In my opinion, as someone who has not finished Game of Thrones so far, to me this is better than Game of Thrones. I haven't finished Game of Thrones.
Yes, you should watch this show. Are you kidding me? You should not watch this show with your mom because there's some weird things going on. But you should watch the show. Luckily, I watched Game of Thrones at home, not at mom's house. Boy, I watched Eastbound and Down at my ex-girlfriend's parents' house one time. That didn't go over well. So yes, you should watch this show. It's incredible. It's probably the best show on television. In my humble opinion. I know there's a lot of great shows.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
But this is my favorite for sure right now. And boom. Do you have any theories? What's next? Any theories, Mr. Curtis?
I mean, besides I think that it'll come out that the hand was maybe poisoning the king. I do that, and she's already said she will marry the other guy from the sea country. But I think that she's gonna Corliss's son or brother or whatever it is. She's gonna marry him, but be in love with the knight, and there's gonna be tension there. So I think that's definitely coming.
I have not read the books, so I don't know how it goes. I know that there's going to be a big split. I know it's about to hit the fan. I know the king's going to die. Okay, so the king's going to die, and she's going to be the heir. There's going to be people that don't want her to be the heir because she's a woman, and she has dragons, so she's she's not defenseless, and we know she's fierce. So this is cool. We know that because we saw the end credit scene or like the preview for next week that she's supposed to possibly get married to Corliss's son. Does the wedding actually happen? Does it finish? Are they about to get married and then somebody shows up and interrupts the wedding? Who knows? I don't know, but I do know there's going to be some serious ass kicking, and I know at some point Damon's dragon is going to eat her. That's a spoiler alert. That's what I know happens one day eventually.
Well, dude, what? You can't. Where'd you hear that?
On Game of Thrones. Joffrey goes through the dungeons. Everybody dies, dude. This is Game of Thrones. Everybody dies.
Well,
did I just ruin everything?
You kind of like I got to drive to Austin and punch you now. Like that's not cool.
Yeah, but it's the ride. It's the everyone dies. Not everyone really lives, and she likes to live. So I like her. Wow.
Put that on a poster.
Wow, that's a Braveheart quote. Every man dies, not every man really lives. That was a bad Scottish accent. So anyway, what's going to happen? I don't know. There's going to be a lot of fighting, and they're going to try and take away her throne, and lots of dragons are going to blow hot air on each other. I don't know. That's it.
Oh.
All right. Okay. Well, House of the Dragon. What an interesting show. Check it out. Let's move on. Boom! Rings of Power time. This is gonna be a short one.
Hi. 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 Hiya.
Hey there! Holy smokes! Is it?
Hi.
It's a little Galadriel.
Hi.
Okay. All right. I love you. No. Go. I love you.
He.
Say bye-bye.
Ba 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 ba.
Bye bye.
Ba,
All right.
ba. Yeah.
We had
Go.
that was a fun cameo.
Yeah. There's hobbits all over my house.
Harfoots.
Harfoot. Yeah, there you go. Harfoots.
All right. Well, Rings of Power, man. Another crazy, epic, beautifully made show.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about this episode?
This was the best episode yet. And not to be shitty about it, but that's not saying a lot. It seems like this is like episode 5, I believe.
It is.
And they're each an hour long, and it seems like they're just getting into the story. Like, and I know not by any means that all the other episodes were bad, but it's like, okay, all right, they're setting up, all right, and then now it's like something's kind of happening, and you're like, okay, I'm getting it. Like, that's good that something is happening. So they weren't walking around, but they're kind of talking a lot, and I don't know. Like, I'm still up in the air about the show for as much as they spent on it, for as seemingly easy as a show as this could be. I don't know if they're nailing it yet. So
This show is tough on me too, man. And everything's just so spread out. Everything's so spread out. Now we have a whole bunch of storylines going, and we get about an inch over here, and then they go tick, 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 and then okay, let's talk about this thing, and you get about an inch, and then you get over here, and nothing. We don't move forward on any storyline. It's like we're not like nothing's happening.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I think that the only reason we got a little more storyline this time was because they didn't even talk about Nori and the guy that fell from the sky. Like, they didn't even bring up that storyline this time around. So they kind of, we were able to get a little more meat because they weren't trying to spread it so thin. It's the characters are fine, but I'm not in love with any of them yet. I liked Galadriel more this episode, but it's not, I mean,
I liked that like he was like looks like he maybe an ex-elf or some kind of weird the bad guy.
Yeah.
He
Arda.
He was kind of cool, but I'm like, who is he? Is he so? I don't know enough about the Lord of the Rings stuff to even know. I've watched all of the movies and stuff, and grew up watching the Hobbit animated cartoon and stuff, but I never read the books. But yeah, I'm like, this guy. Okay, you're a bad guy, and then they're like, okay, they did say Sauron is the return or whatever, and they said that the star flying through the sky is a sign of that, but they didn't say that was him. So so the way they phrased it was like, hey, this still might be Gandalf. They might be misleading us, like maybe I don't like. Is there some prophecy that when a star comes from the sky, the return of the evil one shall bring orcs and destroy the universe? I don't know. I don't fucking know. This show, I like filler, and be slowly entertained. And this is a show that's a long one. It's a long, slow, but it's cool because that's the only thing I have to do that night. So I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. And maybe I feel like we would need 15 episodes to get anywhere with this show.
But that's kind of a problem. Like, again, not one episode of this show has been bad, but it's like, it's kind of like they're doing filler. It's not, you know what I mean? It's you're kind of right. Like I never thought about it like that, but and it's not bad filler. They're not driving around in a car for like 10 minutes or something like that. They're not, but it's I don't know why it does it, but it feels like filler, and I I don't know. As a whole show, it's not that great. Each individual episode is pretty good. So, I don't know.
It's beautifully made. Like it's like they're doing a good job of like painting the universe. So I'm like, cool. It's a very
Yeah.
detailed, beautiful, to look at show. But what the
But to
hell
be
is
fair-
happening? But what's happening? But to be fair, what?
To be fair, honestly, like just the true images of New Zealand from the original movies to me were kind of more beautiful. Like this is beautiful, but it's obviously visually effects beautiful,
Right.
and there's some realism missing. And just like, but the actual just pictures of New Zealand from the other one kind of steals the show. Like I don't know, and it
This episode seemed a little faker than the last. So I don't know if they came out of the gate like that episode with Galadriel on the horse, where I was talking smack about
Yeah.
the slow-mo shot when they show the islands and stuff. It's beautiful. This
Right.
episode seemed a little more it was still a beautiful episode, but it seemed a little more like, I don't know if they've drawn all of these backgrounds for the show, and now okay, now they just put everybody on a volume stage. We spent all the money developing this, and now that we've made our big entrance, now the rest of it we've got the Hobbit, or we got the dwarves house set. We've got all these things built and drawn in CG, and so now we just go back and everybody just jump on a volume stage like they do in Obi-Wan, and like we'll put a lot of detail into it. Now we're shoot from a volume stage. That might be what's going on. I don't know.
but here's the thing. Besides the fact that I believe the original ones looked a little better, they've estimated to have spent $1 billion on this show,
Mhm.
and those scenes do look beautiful, and they look, but not quite realistic. And we're going to be talking about it in an hour, but the scenes on what is it, Scarif in Rogue One are mind-blowingly beautiful and look
Yep.
way more realistic, and that was made for $232 million. Like, and it didn't all go to that, of course,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, it was just, those scenes are just spectacularly beautiful and look real, in my opinion. These are kind of, I mean, they still, like, it didn't work. I don't know, something's not working. It's not terrible. It looks good, but it doesn't look real. It looks,
I don't
so
think
I don't know.
I don't think they were doing the volume stage stuff yet.
Well, right.
With
Yeah.
with Star Wars in Rogue One. So I don't know.
So that's what I mean. Like, something about that makes it look maybe like it flows better animation wise or something, but it's like the hidden, or what do they call it, uncanny valley kind of thing with nature. I don't know. It falls into that realm.
The other interesting thing, Tony Gilroy is he shot all of this the Andor stuff
Mhm.
in like real locations, and then
Yeah.
they drew
Thank
things
God.
on top of it, so it's gonna
Yeah.
look good, like you're saying. Yeah, this show though, Rings of Power, it looks good. They spent a lot of money on it, and apparently a lot of it was supposed to be for like infrastructure for the show, so that they have sets and everything built up, and then they can keep making episodes. So
Right.
it's like
Keep
once
it
you've
rolling.
drawn, once you've
Fair enough.
once
you know.
you've hired an army to draw all of these locations, then you just can keep shooting, and like, okay, cue up the dwarf's living room again. All right, here we
Right.
go, action. Yeah. So we'll see, man. I'm enjoying the show, but come on, let's give us some nourishment. We need some. We don't need
The
filler. We
salad
need
was
some-
good.
Yeah.
The soup was good. The free bread was
That's what
good.
I'm trying
Where's
to
my
say.
steak? Give me
Exactly.
some steak.
Give us some steak. Oh, did somebody say steak? All right. Well, shoot, man. Hey, you got another Harfoot behind you.
Yeah, I'll help her.
All right. Well, gang, this is going to be a short episode because I've got to do a few edits and stuff for Versus that will be on at 8:15 tonight. So, which is in 45 minutes. So, guys, if you're not doing anything in like 45 minutes, tune back in, and we're gonna talk about Rogue One and Inglourious Bastards. So yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we shall adjourn, and we will see you guys soon, guys. Be sure to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Do that. Hit the subscribe button, and we appreciate you tuning in every Friday. And Curtis and I will see you soon.
Love you guys later.
Get ready for a couple of dudes who are going to be back later for verses.